committees is done through a resolution of the House of Committees, or the establishment of committees is done through a resolution of the House and in consultation with party leaders, as it was done in 2019. Yesterday, the 8th of July 2024, I, the Speaker, called a consultative meeting with party leaders represented in this House to have a consensus on addressing matters that must be dealt with by the legislator, including establishment of committees under Rule 195. Noting the configuration of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature in the 7th term, it makes it difficult to implement a number of rules as was adopted in the House on 14th June. I therefore exercised my responsibility in terms of Rule 14, which provides as follows. 1A, the Speaker is responsible for the political management of the legislature. C, must ensure that the standing rules are observed. D, must, as the Chief Presiding Officer, preside over the House and maintain and preserve the order of and proper decorum in the House and uphold the dignity and good name of the House. G, must monitor and oversee the processes and procedures of the legislature and ensure that the legislature complies with its constitutional obligations, including but not limited to the enactment of provincial legislation, overseeing the exercise of provincial executive authority, and facilitating public involvement in the legislative sector and the process of the legislature. I advise party leaders, and I now advise members of the House, that Rule 5 further provides that a rule may be amended, revoked, or added by a resolution of the House. The House is therefore empowered to debate and decide on amendments to the rules. This is further supported by the President of the House doing so at the start of the 6th term in 2019, at the first sitting at the start of the 7th term, when the rules were amended and adopted by the House on the 14th of June 2024. I further advised party leaders that the rules cannot be properly the Rules Committee cannot be properly constituted as yet, as it is first necessary that the chairperson of committees and the chief whip, who are members of the Rules Committee, be appointed or elected. It is also essential that the matter of the proportional representation of parties be resolved prior to any committee being able to be properly constituted. The meeting between the Speaker and party leaders yesterday was therefore a consultative meeting intended to ventilate the above necessary appointments, elections, and proposed rule amendments, and to consult on the Speaker's report, which will be tabled to the House under Rule 14, which is also scheduled for debate today. In this regard, there was consensus that parties will get 3 minutes each to engage with and respond to the Speaker's report and proposed amendments in the House. Following yesterday's meeting with party leaders, where this approach was agreed to, and in terms of Rule 3, the Speaker will make a ruling that, notwithstanding the provisions of Rule 195, the House may establish a range of portfolio committees as soon as possible after the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. The sitting is therefore called to deal with this matter, as well as the establishment of committees under Rule 195, which requires the House to establish committees, as well as the establishment of committees under Rule 195. In addition, there is a need to address the composition of the committees through necessary amendments. May I advise honorable members that another matter that was discussed at yesterday's pertains the election of the chairperson and deputy chairperson of committees, which is also part of the order. I remind members that Rule 16 provides as follows: as soon as possible after an election or whenever the position of chairperson of committees or deputy chairperson of committees is vacant, the House must elect a member as chairperson of committees and another member as deputy chairperson of committees. In this vein, it is important to advise honorable members that the process as outlined above was also followed previously, which included the following steps. A meeting was held with party leaders wherein the size and composition of committees was discussed and agreed to. The composition and a party allocation was agreed. The rules were amended to increase the committee composition from 10 to 11. This amendment was then adopted by the House through a resolution of the House. A motion without notice was moved with the unanimous consent of all parties in the House. Parties then allocated their committee members in writing to the Speaker. I trust that this is in order. Honorable members, I have two rulings that I need to make under this item further. First ruling by the Speaker in regards to 195. Honorable members, there is a need for me to address a critical matter of procedure before we continue. This matter was discussed at the meeting with leaders yesterday. Members will be aware that Rule 195 of our standing rules provides that the House must, by resolution, establish a range of committees within 7 days of the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker after an election of the legislature. Assign a portfolio or part thereof of government affairs to each committee and determine a name for each committee. Noting that the Speaker and Deputy Speaker were elected on the 14th of June, 2024, Rule 195 required that committees must have been established by the 21st of June, 2024. This was clearly impractical and could not be complied with due to the public holiday on the 17th of June. The fact that the Premier needed to appoint the Executive Council first so that guidance could be received regarding the portfolio committees required to oversee those departments, and that took place on the 18th of June. The inauguration of the President on the 19th of June, which required attendance of the Speakership, the Premier and the Secretary. The need to ensure that a formula for the composition of committees is developed which complies with the requirement of the Constitution and the rules. In ensuring that parties are entitled to be represented in all committees in substantially the same proportion as the proportion in which they are represented in the House. It must also be noted that Rule 195 is inconsistent with other rules requiring finalization of issues after an election, including Rule 16, which requires the election of the chairperson and deputy chairperson of committees to be elected as soon as possible after an election of the legislature or whenever the position of chairperson of committees or deputy chairperson of committees is vacant. And that rule is not within 7 days. Rule 26, which requires the Rules Committee to determine the number of whips to be allocated to parties, but only requires this to be done as soon as possible after an election. It is apparent that the Rule 195 was impractical in the circumstances, possible unimplementable, and is inconsistent with the rest of the standing rules regarding its timeframes. It also does not provide for the unique circumstances and practical realities that we currently find ourselves in, nor does it provide for necessary and unavoidable delays due to critical issues that must be addressed before committees may be established. Rule 3 does, however, state that the Speaker may give a ruling or frame a rule in respect of any eventuality for which these rules do not provide. The following yesterday's meeting with party leaders, where this approach was agreed to, and in terms of Rule 3, it is therefore my ruling that notwithstanding the provisions of Rule 195, the House may establish a range of portfolio committees as soon as possible after the election of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The matter is also referred to the Rules Committee so that Rule 195 may be reviewed so that it is consistent with the rest of the standing rules and takes into account practical realities and necessary delays. Rule 2 Speaker's ruling regarding the election process, or ruling 2, Speaker's ruling regarding the election process for the chairperson of committees and deputy chairperson of committees. Honorable members, this was also a matter that was discussed at yesterday's meeting. I remind members that Rule 16 provides as follows. As soon as possible after an election or whenever the position of chairperson of committees or deputy chairperson of committees is vacant, the House must elect a member as chairperson of committees and another member as deputy chairperson of committees. While requiring that the legislature elect a chairperson of committees and deputy chairperson of committees, the rules do not set out a procedure for doing so. Regarding such matters, however, Rule 2 does provide that the Speaker may give a ruling or frame a rule in respect of any eventuality of which these rules do not provide. In order for there to be a process that is transparent and fair to all parties, and also allow all parties to nominate its candidates for the post of chairperson of committees or deputy chairperson of committees, it was also suggested in yesterday's meeting, and therefore, my ruling that the process that will go through will be as follows. The matter of the election of the chairperson of committees will be dealt with without debate. The voting procedure will be dealt with in terms of 1121C of the Constitution, as well as Rule 851C of the Standing Rules. That is, all voting decisions will be decided by a majority of votes cast. The Speaker will firstly call for nominations for the positions. A member will rise and indicate who he or she nominates for the position. Once a member is nominated, I will ask for a seconder. After the first member is nominated and seconded, I will verify if the nominated member accepts the nomination. I will then check if there are any other nominations as per the same process. If there is only one nomination, that will be the end of the election, and I will declare the elected candidate the chairperson of committees. If more than one candidate is nominated, we will have to go through a voting process. In going through the voting process, I will ask that all those in favor of candidate A remain in their seats. Candidate B, please rise. Candidate C, please raise your hands. That is anticipating that we have 3 candidates. Counting will then occur and the result will be declared. The candidate with the most support will then be declared the chairperson of committees. The same process will be followed for the election of the deputy chairperson of committees. Honorable members, I trust that the process is clear. I see a hand. I must say that before you rise, honorable member, it is a bit unprecedented, but in respect of promotion of democracy and transparency, I will allow a hand that comes up. You have the platform, honorable member.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Boise, the MECs and the honorable members of the House, I've noted that you have mentioned that is unprecedented. I've just noted something on your report as you were tabling it. I'm standing on Rule 195 of the Standing Rules of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature, amended 26 November 2021. The establishment.
Remember, you will say the rule that you are rising on.
I'm rising on Rule 195.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Rule 195 and understand where in Rule 195 you want us to go. You're taking us to Rule 195. What is your issue?
Okay. Establish a range of portfolio committees within 7 days of the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker after an election of the legislature. It says you must. within 7 days. Let's take note now, firstly.
What is your issue then?
No, I'm coming, Madam.
Now, when you are raising on a roll, we lead you so that we don't, so that, honorable member, we are able to follow you. Where in Rule 195 we are going?
Madam Speaker, I cannot talk the way you want. I cannot talk the way you want. I need to deliberate on what is the matter here. So
unfortunately, you will talk the way the rules want. Not me.
I'm standing on a rule that is on the book. I'm not standing.
Then what are you raising, honorable member?
Then give me a chance to deliberate on this. What's the problem on this? It says the committees must be established within 7 days, not even after 7 days. Let's start from there. It says it must be established within 7 days. Okay. On your report that you are tabling, you are accounting for only 3 days. Let's start from there. You're saying it was impossible to establish as per the rules because there was a holiday on the 17th of June, 2024. Let's count then from the establishment or the appointment of the speaker, which was on the 14th. Let's count from there. Take 7 days, it gives you to the 21st of June. From June till today, there is 11 days left out of those days that we were supposed to action this. Not even, we were already late to action this. You're only accounting for 3 days here. You're saying there was a holiday on the 17th. That holiday doesn't matter because we can give you that 1 day. We left with 10 days. That you did not action this, whereby you late already. Let's go to another day that you are mentioning here, saying the Premier was being inaugurated, the Premier was supposed to elect the cabinet and all that. It doesn't matter. We give you that day as well. It's going to be 9 days then left again. That is not accounted for. For this rule to be broken already, because we were already late. You're saying there was an inauguration of a president of the Republic of South Africa. We give you that day as well. Take that day as you account on it. So it's 3 days now. Out of the 11 days that we are running short on, we are already late even on that particular time. So how can you account for the other days as to why this sitting was not, or the committees were not established already when we are late? Because the 7 days is saying within, it's not saying after 7 days. We were late even within the 7 days. That is on the standing rules. I can hear on your report you even mentioning that the committees of leaders, party leaders, we don't know such committee. We don't know such committee on this house of party leaders. There's no committee such as that. That we can listen to a report that comes from that meeting. We don't know where it comes from. We don't agree with anything that was coming from that committee of party leaders that comes to amend the standing rules that we adopted when the first sitting was happening. We're not going to entertain anything. Please account for the other days. Then we can go forward with this sitting. If we cannot account for those days, we cannot go forward with this sitting. Please.
Honorable member, I will reread the ruling that I have framed. But before I go to rereading it so that we take each other together, we have read Rule 195 that the member was referring to. And we want to say that we were cognizant of Rule 195, which is the reason that we had framed the ruling that we brought before the House that was speaking to Rule 16 and Rule 26 with the eventual usage of Rule 3 on framing a rule that because we were unable to meet at that given time due to the impracticalities that were put to the speakership by the composition of the House. Those impracticalities that we spoke about, we did not give them days, and we are not going to be saying we're giving days, 4 days to the matter, but I will now rule. The Speaker, having considered what the honorable member has raised, is invoking Rule 3 once more, that I have framed a ruling that I brought before the House, empowered by rules, and the ruling that I have framed in terms of Rule 3 provides for the time that have lapsed, and therefore the House, in terms of deliberations, will be deliberating in terms of the rule framed by the Speaker in terms of Rule 3. The other matters then were raised by the member that there is a committee of party leaders. We want to clarify that at the beginning of the report we said a consultative. If honorable members missed the orientation a day before the 14th on the 13th, I must sincerely apologize if they have not picked it, that there is a consultative platform. But we have also briefed the party leader. With that ruling made, no rights of any party or any member are prejudiced in this House in terms of ventilating your issues further. But this matter we have ruled on, and we are closing it. Oh, I am organizing my papers, Honorable Dex. I recognize you. Which rule are you raising on, my honorable member?
No, Speaker, I want to request a 15-minute caucus.
What rule are you raising on, Honorable Dex?
I rise again on Rule 195.
Okay, what is your issue with Rule 195?
The Rule 195 that states that you must, this House must, and not may. It does not deal with may. It says it must. There's no may. It must establish. It must establish committees within seven days of the elections of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. We do not agree. We do not agree with what you are presenting here, your reasons for not establishing those committees in 7 days. We actually do not agree with it. And we are saying the reasons you are given are not justified. Therefore, we want a party caucus for 15 minutes.
Honorable members, I was calling the secretary because I wanted to know which role is that is requesting for party caucuses. I will allow the honorable members, if they want to step outside, as honorable members continue to step in and outside the House at any given time. We've done that even in the previous term. They would step outside and come back. But we usually would continue with the business of the day. We note that the NCOP, in terms of the records of the House, say that they are not in agreement with the framing of the ruling that we have put forth. We note that, but we also draw their attention to how you deal with a ruling that you are not allowing, the ruling, on how you question the ruling. But for now, I will go to the issues of the precedence of the presidium. I think it's secretary in the sitting of the House. Firstly, we will go to interruption, suspension, or adjournment of proceedings. Only the presiding officer may interrupt, suspend, or adjourn the proceedings of the House or a mini plenary. The presiding officer may, after consultation with the leader of government business and the chief whip, adjourn the House until a later working day of the legislature than the following sitting day. But now I will go back to Rule 52. I have not ordered any interruption, suspension, or adjournment of the House, but we note what has been raised by the NCOP. If we may now move to the next.
Chairperson, so you are not granting us a time to caucus. Sorry, Speaker, you are not, sorry, Speaker, so my apology for that.
No, it doesn't matter, Honorable Dex. I was going to respond to you anyway.
Are you not granting us a time for a caucus meeting as a party?
I am saying, Honorable, if you want to go outside, as members, you are free to go, but we will not disrupt or adjourn or suspend the sitting.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't.
Until we get to the orders of the day.
You can't do that.
Honorable, Honorable Mkhize and Honorable Moyo, may you usually allow first your speaker from your party or any other party to finish so that you then want to speak. Honorable Dex, I thought you were saying something, yeah. Secretary?
I simple thing I asked you, are you not granting us an opportunity to own caucus? And you shook your head like you say you are not granting us opportunity to caucus. On the Speaker, what we are experiencing in this house as MK is that you are busy bulldozing this house. You are treating this house as it belongs to you. You treat this house like it's your dining room now, that you can do whatever you want to do. And you have no regard for controversies in the House, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, if you're going to continue this here in this manner, Honorable Speaker, this will come back and bite you.
Honorable Dex, I note what you have said, but there is one aspect that I will give to Honorable Mbanjwa. According to the correspondence I received, we have every regard for your party, Honorable Member, and there is no way that we disregard your party. But then we will have to deal with procedure. I know it was not raised by you officially, but I want to record that, and having said that. And with that said, there was a hand from Honorable Mkhize. 11 Ikuza, Honorable Member, there that Masanikeza Ipati any member Japeli sit at the issue. Honorable Mkhize, you were having your hand was up. What rule are you raising on?
Ngibonga somlomo. Kusayelo rule 195. I therefore request a legal opinion on your ruling.
Rule 195, and that's what we have number bani law often illegal opinion on my ruling, because the rule is framed, the one that I've made is framed in terms of Rule 3. So if you can take me to the Rule 195 and the one of the legal opinion that you are requesting there. There on Rule 195, I want to see the part that is speaking about me, giving you a legal opinion.
Ngibonge somlomo futhi njengoba sikholelwa ukuthi usomlomo in breach engakwazanga ukugcina insuku ezisikhombisa umthetho welo esucelayo including lesikhathi esisidingayo, it's based on that in the House.
I am still there on Rule 195 that you are raising on, Honorable Mkhize. I am looking for what you are raising. I can't find it. But I'm still responding to your member, and there are two members before you from your party. But in the event that you were requesting me to do that, I will remind you that decisions are taken by the House. The decisions of the House are not taken by a legal opinion. If anybody, therefore, feels undone by a decision of the House, will be covered in the matter that I said that no members' rights will be prejudiced in any manner. Now, with that said, I am trusting your table staff to deal with that disturbance at the back. But with that said, I am sorry, Honorable Mkhize, but what you raised has no provision in the rule So what you raised is out of order in terms of Rule 195. May we go to Honorable Moyo?
Madam Speaker, I'm being led.
But the Holy Spirit,
Basho njalo. Ake sibone ukuthi umoya ongcwele uyasilekelela yini. Madam Speaker.
Unthatha umseko rule mfundisi omhle.
La ngiyakhona phela ngingawaphethe ngesandla ngizobona ukuthi ngakuma rules. Ngifuna ukuya ku 195.
Okay, then let's go to 195 and you say to me, where do we go? Rule 195, there's Rule 1A, 195, 1A, B, C, and 2. Which one are you taking me to?
Madam Speaker, ngizocela nje ukuthi ungibekezelele
angizokwenza Honorable Moyo lokhu enifuna senze ihouse ibe umuntu. The house is read according to the rules. When I say to a member, can you take me? It's so that as I am listening to you, I am reading what you are saying. So I don't want to be as if I'm impatient with a person, but I want to also follow the rule, internalize it. That's why I'm saying, if you can take me to the exact part.
Somlomo mama. Now ngifuna ukuya kuye u-A. Bese Madam Speaker, siya kuye futhi Rule 3 lo owuthathile waframe ngawo. Ngifuna ukuthi mina honorable member uMagubane uraise izinto ezibalekile. Wakunikeza nezinsuku obefaya ngabe ngazo uhlalisile amakomiti. Now into interesting la ukuthi Madam Speaker, uma uzofaka uRule 3 no Rule 195 kukhona umay no must. So ku Rule 195 you must, but uma uya ku Rule 3 uthi the speaker may give a ruling. Now Madam Speaker, mina into engifuna ukuyisho la ukuthi ngiyacela ukuthi ungayenzi indlu kube ngazathi indlu yakho wedwa ngaphandle kwethu. Into esisho la sithi uMadam Speaker azange enze kahle ngokuthi angawahlalisa amakomiti within 7 days. For that reason lento esihlele njengamanje soku uSpeaker othatha decision ngendlela yakhe noma ngendlela yalabo asebenza nabo ukuthi sizoqhubeka kanje ayikho indlela sizoyenza. So siyacela ukuthi sithole i-caucus ka 15 minutes. Le caucus le esicelayo sicelela ukuthi indlu ingaqhubeki ne-business of the day until i-MKP ibuye izohlala phansi ibe ineliseke ukuthi sesikubukile okushilo na i-decision esihamba nayo. Yiloko nje sicelayo Madam Speaker. Ngiyabonga.
Bonga mfundisi wami omhle. The same Rule 3 you're speaking to, Rule 3.2 says a rule framed by the Speaker remains in force until a meeting of the Rules Committee has decided thereon. The reason we're here, we are so that we establish portfolio committees and committees of the House. Amongst the matters that you can go and ventilate on is exactly the ruling that I have framed. It now remains in force. Any member that has a hand up to further speak on the ruling that I have framed will not be entertained. We have ventilated it long enough. I have given, I think, about 2 times to Honorable Dex, to Honorable Mkize, to Honorable Umakubane, and Honorable Moyo. Now, any member that rises from now henceforth will not be rising on the issue of the ruling that I have framed, because Rule 3.2 has covered us. May I now give the honorable member who was having a hand up, Honorable Dex, there at the corner, by your caucus. Yeah, your caucus. Now, right at the bottom. Yes, what is the rule you are rising on, honorable member? No, honorable member, I have requested kakuhle nicely. Ndicela uba ningaphazamisani xa kusekhona ilungu lendlu lisakhulumayo. I have recognized a member there. I am not a far-sighted person, but I think, yes, the honorable member is standing.
Angibingelele abahlonishwa bethu o-MEC, Speaker, Secretary, and Parliament. I'm rising on Rule 5. In as much which is enforce the decision, so it's a when alone. Rule 5 amendment of rules. The rule may be amended, revoked, or added by a resolution of the House. So yourself as a Speaker, you are not the House. So I'm rising on Rule 5. Yabo.
Thank you, Honorable. I think it's Honorable Nen. Honorable Dex, can I respond to your Honorable member at the corner and give Honorable Makubane, who had raised when I told him that there is an Honorable member, and first respond to the Honorable member? Rule 5, you are correct. A rule may be amended, revoked, or added by a resolution of the House. That is why there is an order paper that will allow the House to actually do it. Ukuthi nje ngiboshwe before ngifike kuyo indaba yokuthi indlu nge-majority yayo that we said which majority we will be saying will be actually amending the rules. Now we have not amended the rules, we have framed a ruling that will be ventilated and decided by the majority of the members that are in the House, Honorable Member. Therefore, what the matter you are raising, in essence, I want to thank you profusely. You are actually in support of me and what I am trying to do. Ngiyabonga madlokovu ntusi yenkomo. Honorable Makubane.
Madam Speaker, the MEC's Deputy Speaker, and the honorable members, I still rise on 2 rules now. I've added another one. Rule 195, I asked clearly, humbly, with harmony, the Speaker, to explain to us, because on the report that she has read, she only accounted for few days. Now she wants us to be controlled or ruled with rule number 3, whereby she cannot even give us the reasons that are valid and reasonable enough that we can take maybe. As to, you cannot account on your report for 3 days, whereby we are already late with 11 days, and then you don't want to give us an explanation out of that. You go to rule 3 so that you cannot give us reasons enough as to what was happening on the other days, because you have given us the explanation of only 3 days. We are even asking that we seek the legal opinion out of this matter, because
Order, Madam Speaker.
the reality is.
Honorable Makubane, may you take your seat? We hear the point of order. Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
I rise on Rule 60. The rules are,
yeah.
the rules of the House, Madam Speaker, argue that any member of the legislature may not be repetitive in the argument. And then I can see Honorable Makubane keep on stressing the same rule that has been ruled on. And Madam Speaker, we are not in this House to do anything but to serve our people. The matter has been dealt with. The Speaker has made the ruling, and then he keep on being repeated. That's why I raised it.
Madam Speaker.
May Honorable Ndebele first let me hear what is Honorable Makubane finish what he's raising, so that from then henceforth I rule on the matter he is on. Honorable Nkomose, you can continue.
Madam Speaker, I think I was addressing the matter to you, not another member. We can see tendencies of my statement now being redirected to another person.
I don't know whether you want me to respond to that, but even if you want me, no, wait for me. Even if you don't want me to respond to it, I will say to you, Honorable Member, every member has a right to raise a matter in terms of the rules in the House on any matter that is under discussion. That is not given to you to rule whether the member has a right or not. It has been given to us to use the rules to do that. What you were taking, withdraw it because it does not belong to a House.
I withdraw, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Let's come back.
Madam Speaker, let's go to that rule number 3 that you're saying you're ruling on. Unforeseen eventualities. The Speaker may give a ruling or a frame of a rule in respect of any eventuality for which these rules do not provide. We have rule number 195 here that provides every process that we need to undertake. That is clear. And then I don't see what is unforeseen that makes the Speaker to be ruling on this. What is it that is unforeseen? Because the process was delayed. That's a reality. The process was delayed. And then there must be
Honorable Makubane, please take your seat.
As well as to
Honorable Makubane, take your seat. Honorable Makubane, take your seat. The matter that Honorable Makubane is continuously raising is the matter that I have ruled on. And the assertion by Honorable Makubane that there is a misuse of Rule 3 is also taken as out of order because we have clarified that there is the rule regarding the composition of committees and the rule composition of whips, which were also in contrast when we were doing that. That is the unforeseen eventuality. The matter on the framing of the ruling by the Speaker is now closed. Any member, have your hand down, Honorable Nene. Have your hand down. Take your seat, Honorable Dex, until I finish. Any member who will be raising now, if that member rises in terms of the same matter we have ruled on, we will go to the rule applicable to someone who is doing that conduct. Now, we may go to the next item on the order paper. Honorable Dex, which rule are you rising on?
Honorable Speaker, I rise on Rule 2. I rise on Rule 2, Rule 3, and Rule 6. The 3 rules I need to address you on. Honorable Speaker, this is the last time that any member of MK will rise on any rule. We will not rise on any rule, but we need to address you on these 3 rules: Rule 2, Rule 3, and Rule 6. And thereafter, we will not address you any further on we will not rise on any other rule after that. Let me just start with Rule 2. Rule 2 is very clear, Honorable Speaker, that states that these rules are of continuing effect and apply until amended by the House in this or subsequent term of legislature. We're speaking about the current rules that stand here now. Before there's a suggestion that it must be amended. There's a report on the order paper from yourself, Speaker, that these rules must be amended. But these rules, as we speak, are still currently in effect as we speak. Therefore, now there's a report coming from yourself that say the rules must be amended. Now, what MK simply asked from you was that, look, you have this report. We don't even have the comment from legislature's legal advisor on the report. Where is the legal comments of the legislature on this report? Okay. We say that where's the legal advisor of the legislature's comments on this report? Well, we are speaking about rules that must be amended, and we know how usually under these current rules get amended by the Rules Committee meeting. All parties are present. It gets discussed there. There's legal input there, and then the report will then be brought to the House. That's how we deal with the amendment of rules. But this has not happened, and that's why we want the legal advice on the matter. The second thing on this thing here is the sitting was called, and my understanding is that when you call a sitting, you must give members 14 days notice for that sitting to take place. It's 14 days notice for the sitting of the House to take place. There was no 14 days given to members. And if you even look at how this is conducted, how this sitting of today is conducted, there is no speakers list even here. Where's the speakers list that different parties will speak and how many minutes has been allocated to it? It just shows how the matter was brought before this thing here. That's the first. That's under Rule 2. Then under Rule 3, you are saying that Rule 3 speaks about the Speaker may give a ruling or frame a rule in respect of any eventuality for which the rules do not apply. Now, it says that the Speaker may give a ruling or frame a rule in respect of eventually which the rules do not apply. Now, I want to address you on this, and then I'll go to Rule 6, and I'll be finished. I'll be done, Honourable Speaker. Thank you for your patience. Honourable Speaker, on Rule 3, what we are saying is that the existing rules do not impede on the appointment of the Chief Whip and the establishment of committees. The rules are clear and unambiguous under the current circumstances. There is absolutely no eventuality that has arisen that the rules do not provide for. The real reason that we have this report, which seeks to undermine the very rules of this House, is that on the 14th of July 2024, when the minority parties in this legislature ganged up against the majority party, they took the poisonous chalice unto themselves. And that is why we are today here with, trying to amend these rules. In conclusion, this report by the Speaker is a vile attempt to limit and inhibit the rules of this House in order to prevent MK from occupying the office of the Chief Whip, which in terms of the rules should go to MK. What the Speaker seeks to do is in violation of Rule 6, non-diminution and non-limitation of rules. The minority coalition wants to establish a convention and a rule of practice that will limit and inhibit the provisions of the rules. These proposed amendments after the adoption of the rules on Friday, the 14th of June 24, are a violation of the constitutional rights of Umkhonto Wesizwe as an elected party in this legislature. We will interdict the minority coalition and the legislature from implementing any changes to the rules that will diminish, limit, or inhibit the rights of Umkhonto Wesizwe as per the rules of this House. I thank you, Chair, and we will leave now because we're going.
Thank you, Honourable Dex. Before you leave, let me finish. Thank you. Let me first respond, Honourable Zuma, for the record. I want to respond for the record. Honourable members, Honourable Dex, Honourable members, honourable members from both sides of the House, I want to make the last ruling. The eventualities that we provided for, we have clarified them in the ruling. And Honourable Dex, for the record, honourable members, please, Honourable Dex has raised in violation of Rule 78, where he was in anticipation of a matter that will be discussed. The matters that Honourable Dex spoke about of rules, amendment, and everything are in the report and the discussion that is going to be taken. Secondly, we have said in the ruling parties be allowed to speak on the report that we are going to table and adopt as a House. Therefore, what was raised by Honourable Dex is not consistent with Rule 7.8. On the matter of them seeking a legal opinion, every party in this House is given funds in terms of rule of Section 116 of the Constitution. They are free to use it in line with the policy so that their leader in the House can be better capacitated. The Speaker has framed the ruling in the manner that is known of framing the rulings prior to sitting of the House, where both the Secretary and the management of the legal unit were part of the advice. I therefore, Honourable Member, move to the next item in the ATC that I was dealing with. Thank you. The second of the three is apologies. Honourable members, we have not received any apologies so far. We'll go to birthdays. Honourable members, may I take this opportunity to wish Honourable Twala, what are you rising on? What role are you rising on? Okay.
Of the Speaker. Subsection C reads that the Speaker must ensure that the standing rules are observed. I know you are not going to agree with me for political expediency and something, and a desperation to cling into power by infringing these rules. Will you agree with me, Speaker, that you are in contravention of these standing rules? Because
what rule are you using to ask for a question? Because now you're saying to me, will I agree to you, so that I go to that rule? I was still looking at rule 14.
But together with rule 57.
Okay, let's go to 57.
Will you agree with me that...
Wait, Honourable Member, where in rule 57? Where in rule 57, Honourable Twala? Angzuma phela wena usukuma. By the way, Honourable Twala, if you don't know the rule we are rising on, I will move.
Yes, it's a question of privilege on a point of order.
A member may not interrupt another member while speaking except to call attention to. There is no debate that we were having, Honourable Member. So that rule 57 you are using is out of order. You used a wrong rule for what you want to do.
No,
now,
it's a 57 subsection B.
Yes.
Yes, it's a question of privilege. I'm putting a question to you.
OB, question of privilege is saying a member may not interrupt another member while speaking.
A point of order.
I'm presiding, Honourable Twala.
That was not an order.
Honourable Twala. Honourable Twala. Honourable Twala.
I'm on the floor.
Honourable Twala.
I'm on the floor.
Honourable Twala. I am saying to you, the rule you are raising is not consistent with what you are asking, because Rule 57 says a member may not be interrupted. Then one say a member may not interrupt another member while speaking except to call attention to. Then everything in question of privilege. When you speak, you spoke. The question of privilege is not under the debate.
Based on technicalities. I'm saying on Rule 14, it's explicitly explained that you must adhere to these rules. Will you agree with me that you are in
I still have asked you, which rule are you using to ask the question?
These rules now, Speaker, because
what rule are you using? Because I'm not going to chat back and forth with you. Honourable Twala, take your seat. Honourable Twala, take your seat. You are out of order. Take your seat.
You must just learn to be patient.
Honourable Twala, you must also learn to understand and comprehend the rules.
Yes,
don't rise here and raise something in a wrong role. Honourable Twala, I am taking you to Rule 61. If you continue speaking in the manner you are speaking, you must know that you will be bringing disorder in the House. So refrain from what you are doing, Honourable Twala. Now, if there is no other matter to be raised, may we go to the birthdays? Honourable E.B. Koza, on the 6th of June. Honorable O.B. Kunene on the 7th of June. Honorable S. Ban Prakash, 12th of June. Honorable R. Gokul, 16th of June. Honorable Z. G. Ngobo on the 22nd of June. Honorable S. E. Shomuka, 2nd of July. And Honorable NBZ Tele on the 8th of July. I would also like to wish a happy birthday in advance to the following members. Honorable S. Ngati on the 5th of July. No, it was already passed. It's a belated. Honorable PATN Butelezi on the 10th of July and Honorable T. Madondo on the 14th of July. On behalf of everyone, I would like to wish all these members a memorable year ahead. Now, may we go to tablings, honorable members? First tabling is the Speaker's report in terms of Rule 14. Then on the orders of the day, if there is any other tabling that I may not have recorded. Okay, if there is any other matter that I may have forgotten, is there any? No, there is no other. Now, orders of the day, honorable members, which are item 4.1. Thank you for having come to the sitting and sitting in the city. The House needs to deal with the matter pertaining to the mandate in respect of the NCOP Deputy Chairperson. The House now needs to consider to whether or not to approve the mandate. The question that the House needs to consider is as follows. It is noted that in accordance with Section 64(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, the National Council of Provinces must elect a chairperson and 2 deputy chairpersons from among the provincial delegates. That in accordance with Section 64(2) of the Constitution, the chairperson and 1 deputy chairperson are elected for a term of 5 years. That in accordance with Section 64(3) of the Constitution, the other deputy chairperson is elected for a term of 1 year and is succeeded by a delegate from another province. And 4, that in accordance with the prescribed procedure set out in item 3.2b and 6A and B of Part A of Schedule 3 to the Constitution, the nomination forms must be signed on behalf of 2 provincial delegations. If more than 1 candidate is nominated, a vote must be taken by a secret ballot. And C, each province represented at the meeting may cast 1 vote. This House therefore resolves to mandate the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Delegation to the National Council of Provinces to 1, nominate Mr. Pubalan Governor as Deputy Chairperson in terms of Section 64(2) of the Constitution. 2, to vote for the person so nominated in their respective capacities at a meeting of the NCOP, if voting is required. Honorable members, as you would remember, the drill may now allow each party to comment on the matter in a speech not exceeding 3 minutes prior to voting. I will start with the National Freedom Party.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, good morning. We recognize as the National Freedom Party the National Council of Provinces as one of the important houses where our laws are discussed and passed. So therefore we have no objection. We will give the concurrence that the mandate pass. Thank you.
I will move on to the Economic Freedom Fighters.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to yourself, Honorable Premier, MCs, all honorable members. As the Economic Freedom Fighters, we have no objection, Madam Speaker. Thanks.
We will now go to the Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Democratic Alliance supports.
We'll now go to the African National Congress.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker, for affording us this opportunity. Greetings to our beloved Premier, Sombisi, the entire August House present. We do give the concurrence, and it's true that the oversight model of the NCOP must be sharpened enough in the 7th term, Honourable Speaker. We hope that all the bills will be executed on time as to ascertain all the means and servicing of our people. Thank you so much, Honourable Premier.
I will go to the Inkatha Freedom Party.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, members of the executive and members of this House, we support the proposal.
We'll now give the time to Umkhonto weSizwe Party. Umkhonto weSizwe is currently not in the House. Therefore, whilst we were checking parties to just have a speech, because in terms of concurrence, it is a matter that is on the order paper. Even if there was someone that was deviating, we're going to continue. I will now move on to voting. I will put the question to the House as follows. Those in support of the resolution to approve the above, please remain seated. Those opposed, please stand. And all those who abstain, please raise your hand. Secretary, can I ask for the tally of the votes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are as follows. Votes in favour, 41. Votes against, nil. Abstentions, nil.
Honourable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote is as follows. Those in favour of Mr. Pupalan Gavenda to be elected as Deputy Chairperson in terms of the relevant section of the Constitution in the NCOP, those in favour were 41. There were no votes against and there were no abstentions. It is therefore recorded that the recommendation to mandate the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Delegation to the NCOP to nominate Mr. Pupalan Gavenda as Deputy Chairperson in terms of Section 64(2) of the Constitution and to vote for him in their respective capacities at a meeting of the NCOP if voting is required is supported. Honourable Madlopa, you were up. I am told that Honourable Madlopa, Honourable Zuma, you are disrupting me. Honourable Madlopa was up. Okay. Honourable Madlopa, you were indicating to speak. The Sergeant at Arms is so wrong.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. I was just checking because I was thinking that maybe we shall be 42, including the EFF because they voted with us, and then Honourable Twala was still inside. I'm just checking is it a correct time?
As I was even calling that, speaking on the matter, Honourable Twala was here.
Yes.
Moving out. When Honourable Nkosi was speaking, Honourable Twala was moving out. By the time I arrived to FF, Honourable Twala was not inside the House, Honourable Member. The members were 41. Now, we will now go to the second item. Establishment of committees in terms of Rule 195. You must speak again. Secretary, can you help me with my papers? Thank you. Honorable members, I have made a ruling subsequent to my discussion and agreement with party leaders that notwithstanding the provisions of Rule 195, the House may establish a range of portfolio committees as soon as possible after the election of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The House now needs to consider whether or not to approve the establishment of committees. The question that the House needs to consider is as follows. Noting that the standing rules of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature were adopted on Friday, 14th June, Rule 1391 of the standing rule states that the legislature has management committees, standing committees, and portfolio committees. The management committees and standing committees have been automatically established with the adoption of the standing rules. It is required that portfolio committees be established by the House. Rule 195 of the standing rules states that the House may, by resolution, establish or disestablish a range of portfolio committees within 7 days of the election. No. I must go to that may or may not that I'm reading. I think it may. Secretary. I am going back to that rule. The House must, by a resolution, establish or establish a range of portfolio committees within 7 days of the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker after an election of the legislature, assign a portfolio or part thereof of government affairs to each committee and determine a name for each committee. The House therefore resolved to establish the following committees: Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, Agriculture and Rural Development, Economic Development and Tourism, Environmental Affairs, Education, Finance, Health, Human Segment, Sports, Arts and Culture, COCTA, Transport, Social Development, and Public Works. Speaker, I may allow the parties to speak for 3 minutes. Remember that it's not necessarily only concurrence. Any matter that a party wants to say in the 3 minutes allocated. I will start the same manner that I have started with the NFP. NFP.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the executive and honorable members, NFP will give support that we continue.
Honorable members of EFF.
No, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Economic Freedom Fighters have no comment on this item. Thanks.
Go to the DA.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's really sad that this legislature and this House has come to this point. This province is burdened with poverty, inequality, unemployment, and challenges in services. And I really appeal to all role players in this legislature to stand together and to deal with the province and to deal with the challenges in the province. And therefore, without the establishment of committees and the functioning of committees, we are hamstrung. So it's critically important that this process is concluded and that we actually get to work to deliver on the mandate which we gave the voters of the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
The ANC.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. Once again, I'm sure we all understand that we are now inundated with a heavy duty on the 7th term because there are a lot of anomalies which must be ordained correctly. I think we are duty bound as this august House to make sure that as we constitute, we understand these three outline matters: the issue of oversight model, the issue of lawmaking, and the issue of public participation, because it's going to be clear that as we enter the fray, we still have to address the imbalance of the past. Our people rely upon our strength. One always highlight that it's always critical that you must understand to be delegated to an 8th member parliament in a province constituted by 12.5 million. Indeed, it's a privilege just to be regarded as an honorable member. We always must rise above even our petty understanding on things and understand that our people are not voting for sloganeering. Our people are not expecting us to fight, but yes, they are waiting for us to make sure that we do these things. Unfortunately, in this lifeline, Honorable Speaker, we won't have even a space that a member, because of another elements, won't come to in a portfolio committee. We are all expected to make sure that we play that role, which is key and critical. But we are at the end of the day, after the teething phase has lapsed, people who are going to be expecting our duty to proceed, and I'm sure honorable members will make the people of KwaZulu-Natal proud, and our economy is going to blossom. Thank you so much, Speaker.
The IFP.
Honorable Speaker, we support the establishment of the committees. Thank you.
Konto Wesizwe Party, Konto Wesizwe is not in the house. So we may now go, honorable members, to voting, and honorable members having it in their mind and remembering that it is because we had framed a ruling in terms of Rule 3 that we may establish the committees, portfolio committees, as soon as possible. I will now put the question to the House. Those in support of the resolution to approve the above, please remain seated. All those opposed, please stand. All those who abstain, please raise your hand. Secretary, you are counting. May I ask for the tally of the votes, Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are as follows. Those in favor, 40. Those abstaining, 1. Nil against.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favor was 40, against nil, abstentions 1. It is recorded that the recommendation to establish the following portfolio committees is supported. The committees, as read before: Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, Agriculture and Rural Development; 3, Economic Development and Tourism; 4, Environmental Affairs; 5, Education; 6, Finance; 7, Health; 8, Human Settlements; 9, Sports, Arts and Culture; 10, Culture; 11, Transport; 12, Social Development; 13, Public Works. Honorable members, thank you. We have dealt with that. We are now moving to the item on the election of chairperson of committees in terms of Rule 16. Honorable members, we now move to item 4.3 on the order paper, which is the election of the chairperson of committees in respect to Rule 16. Regarding the election of the chairperson of committees, I have made a ruling regarding the process that is to be followed. And honorable members, I trust that the process is clear. We will now proceed. Are there any nominations for the office of the chairperson of committees, Nopal? Have you received any prior nominations? Now that there are no prior nominations, it seems as if we'll be taking the nominations from the House. Who's the honorable member? Who's Honorable O.P. Kunene?
Thanks. Thanks, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Premier, the Honorable Mrs., Honorable Members of the House, we hereby move the name of Dr. Ntutuba Mahlaba to be the chairperson of committees. Thank you.
The Honorable Dr. NNJ Mahlaba has been nominated. Honorable members, do we have a seconder for this nomination? Honorable Zuma?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I wish to second Honorable Nene that Dr. Ntutubo Mahlaba should be the chair of chairs. Thank you.
Thank you. The nomination has been seconded. May I check with the Honorable Dr. NNG Mahlaba whether you accept the nomination?
Greetings, Honorable Speaker. I accept the nomination.
Thank you, Dr. NNG Mahlaba. May I now get another nomination? Is there a nomination? Second nomination going once, second nomination going twice, second nomination gone. In view of the fact that a single candidate has been nominated, I declare the elected candidate the chairperson of committees. On behalf of all here present, I congratulate you, Honorable Dr. NNG Mahlaba, on your election as chairperson of committees. And I now declare the election of the chairperson of committees to be closed. Welcome to the presiding officers. Honorable members, we will now proceed to the election of the deputy chairperson of committees. Are there any nomination for the office of the deputy chairperson of committees? Honorable Zuma.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I wish to nominate Honourable Obi Kunene as the Deputy Chairperson of Committees. Thank you.
Okay. Honourable members, there is a nomination for the Honourable Obi Kunene as Deputy Chairperson of Committees. May I now check if there is a seconder for this name? Oh, there is a hand. You are seconding. I will give you also Mtanenkosi. May I hear you, Honorable Rogers?
Chair, we would be happy to second the nomination.
Oh, you will be happy when to second it. Are you seconding it or not?
Anma Somlom Asnai, NKP after. We second it, Speaker.
The name has been seconded. Honorable Kaula, you still want? Oh, you submarine. The name of Honorable Obi Kunene has been nominated and seconded. May I check whether you accept the nomination?
Honorable Speaker, it is accepted. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Obi Kunene has accepted. Is there any other name that you want to propose, honorable members? Is there any other name going once, twice? Gone. Honorable members, the deputy chairperson of committees duly elected is the Honorable Obi Kunene. Welcome to the presiding officers. I declare you elected as the deputy chairperson of committees. And I want to put it on record that as we were doing the election of the deputy chair of committees, in fact, from the voting for chairperson of committees, the EFF has worked out of the House. Now the House is composed by 41 members of the legislature, that is including me. So the support would be from 40 members of the House. Sesigqibile ke ngoku siyabulela to the chairpersons. We are also thankful to the parties and the House on the election of the 2 members. This is going to assist the presiding officers in undertaking their work. And Honorable Premier and your executive, we want you to be assured that oversight will be continuing speedily. We've got committees and we've got chairpersons now. Thank you so much. Now we move to item 4.5, which is the report of Speaker in terms of Rule 14. Honorable members, on the order paper, which is the report of the Speaker in respect to Rule 14, I will ask the Deputy Speaker to present the report to the House on my behalf. I therefore call the Honorable M. Tembe, the Deputy Speaker of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature, to come forth and present the report in 10 minutes.
Good morning, Speaker, Honourable Premier, MECs, Honourable Members. This report will focus on the following matters: the appointment of the Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Chief Whip of the largest majority party, and other necessary rules amendments of Schedule 5 of the rules relating to list of party symbols of parties represented in the House, the composition of committees. In light of the new political landscape that we found ourselves in the Office of the Speaker deemed it necessary to have a meeting with all political leaders to discuss the above issues prior to the discussion, therefore, in the House. This was in the effort to finding a resolution to the above matters and identifying ways of moving forward in the manner that was transparent and fair to all. This meeting was held on Monday, the 8th of July, 2024, during which all the above issues were discussed, as well as the establishment of committees, membership of committees, appointments of whips, and the election of the chairperson and the deputy chairpersons of committees. Other matters that were discussed include the determination of the remuneration package of the Premier, as well as the appointment of a trustee and alternative trustee of political office bearers pension fund. The discussion of the above matters and the suggested manners of addressing them in details in this report, Term. 1, the appointment of the Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Chief Whip of the largest majority party, and other necessary rules amendments. It is noted that currently the Chief Whip is defined as the Chief Whip of the majority party. This is, however, problematic for the following reasons. 1, there is no single majority party in the House. 2, a majority role of the Chief Whip is to assist in facilitating both the work of the legislature leadership as well as the executive onto the order. It is also noted that Remuneration of Office Bearer Act provides of the position of Deputy Chief Whip. This is, however, not provided in the standing rules. It further notes that the Remuneration of Office Bearers Act provides for the position of Chief Whip of the largest majority party. This is, however, not provided in the standing rules. It was also noted that Rule 26(1) provides that at the first meeting of the Rules Committee after an election or as soon as possible thereafter, the Rules Committee must determine the number of whips to be allocated to parties represented in the House. This is, however, not implementable due to the current scenario that prevails. It was also noted that Schedule 5 of the rules provide for all the list of party symbols having reference to the ACDP, the ATM, and MF, and does not include the MA, which is not an accurate reflection of the parties in the House. For the above reasons, it is recommended that the rules and the amendment through adoption of the report as follows. 1, to amend the definition of Chief Whip as follows. Chief Whip means the Chief Whip of the political party that is represented in the provincial government. 2, to insert a definition of Deputy Chief Whip as follows. Deputy Chief Whip means the Chief Whip of the political party that is represented in the provincial government. 3, to insert the definition Chief Whip of the largest minority party as follows. Chief whip of the largest minority party means the chief whip of the largest minority party that is not the provincial government. 4, amend Rule 26(1) to state as follows. As soon as possible after an election, the House must determine the number of whips to be allocated to parties represented in the House. 5, Schedule 5 be amended to delete references to ACDP, ATM, and MF to cater for the MK. Rule 5 of the Standing Committee Rules of KZN Legislature states that a rule may be amended, revoked, or added by the resolution of the House. It was therefore agreed that all these amendments find its way into the House through this report of the Speaker, and that the reports be voted on so that this action, the rules considered duly amended, as this denotes a resolution of the House. Composition of committees. Regarding the composition and representation on committees, the Constitution states as follows as Section 1161 and 2. A provincial legislature may determine and control its internal arrangements, proceedings and procedures, and rules and orders concerning its business with due regard to representation and participatory democracy, accountability, transparency, and public involvement. The rules and orders of a provincial legislature must provide for the establishment, composition, powers, functions, procedures, and durations of its committees, the participation in the proceedings in the legislature and in the committees of minority parties represented in the legislature, and in the manner that is consistent with democracy. Standing Rule 1422A further states that, except where the rules prescribe the compositions of committees, parties are entitled to be represented in all committees in substantially the same proportion as the proportion in which they are represented in the legislature. It is clear from the above that when implementing the above requirements, the legislature is required to ensure that committees reflect the election results where the electorate has indicated how it wishes to be represented in the legislature, which is the House and the committees. All parties, including minority parties, are given adequate opportunity to participate in the House and in committees, and parties must be represented in committee subsequently in the same proportion in which they're represented in the House. Using the guidance of Rule 1422, namely using the proportion in which the parties are represented in the House, determine committee composition. The membership of parties per committee is calculated as follows. Committee composition of 11 using the below formula. Step 1, each party is given a minimum of 1 seat. Allow each political party a minimum of representation in committees to allow for the compliance with Section 1162B that requires the participation of minority parties in a manner consistent with democracy. This will of necessity exclude the NFP as a single member is in the Executive Council and thus cannot attend committee meetings. MK1, IFP1, ANC1, DA1, minority parties, EFF and NFP. NFP not get a seat as its representative in the executive, which is the EFF 1. In total, it is 6 seats remaining to be allocated. 2, allocating remaining seats in the following party size in the House. After step 1, above 6 seats remain. These 6 seats must be allocated according to the strength of each political party in the House. MK 37/8 times 6 gives 2.78, giving it 3 seats. IFP 15/80 times 60 gives 1.12, allocating it 1 seat. ANC 14/80 times 6 gives it 1.05, giving it 1 seat. DA 11/80 times 6, giving it 0.83 with 1 seat in the House. Minority parties, EFF and NFP, 3/80 times 6, giving it 0.23 with 0 seats, giving the calculation with the fractions out of 6. Step 4, we calculate the seats. MK, 1 plus 3 equals 4 seats. IFP, 1 + 1 gives it 2 seats. ANC, 1 + 1 gives it 2 seats. The DA, 1 + 1, 2 seats. Minority parties, 1 + 0 gives it 1. Note that minority parties get 1 seat for both parties. Currently, as the NFP is in the Executive Council, EFF gets representation on all committees. If NFP loses a place in the Executive Council, then committees will be placed by both parties. All of this equals 11 seats. Accordingly, in applying the above principles, it is recommended that the House agrees that committees are to be composed as follows: MK4, IFP4, MK4, IFP2, ANC2, DA2, minorities 1, total of 11. It was also agreed that the matters will be put to the House for decision. Recommendation: honorable members, considering all the above, it is recommended that the House resolves as follows: that the rules be amended as follows. To amend the definition of chief whip. Chief whip means the chief whip of the political party that is represented in the provincial government. B, to insert a definition of deputy chief whip as follows. Deputy chief whip means the deputy chief whip of a political party that is represented in the provincial government. C, to insert the definition of chief whip of the largest minority party as follows. Jeez.
I will indulge the Deputy Speaker
Thank you,
because
Deputy Speaker.
of the critical report that she's tabling.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'll continue. I'm almost done. The chief whip of the largest minority party means the chief whip of the largest minority party that is not in the provincial government. B, amend Rule 26(1) to state as follows. As soon as possible after the election, the House must determine the number of whips to be allocated to parties represented in the House. E, to amend Schedule 5 to delete references to ACDP, ATM, and MF and cater for the MK. That unless the rules specify otherwise, committees are to be composed as follows: MK4, IFP2, NC2, DA2, minorities 1, total 9. We request that each of the item under recommendation 1A to D and recommendation 2 to be adopted to the House, and that the report as a whole be adopted by the House. We thank all leaders of political parties for their participation in the party leaders meeting and for the guidance in putting these matters before the House. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. And thank you to the Deputy Speaker, Ngwanase, for tabling the report on our behalf. We have now come to the end of the report tabling. I will call upon parties if they seek to rise and speak on the report, as long as they do not exceed the 3 minutes that we have put and agreed on. I will start with the NFP. They are not seeking concurrence. If a party has something to say, they can say. If they don't, they may not. NFP, you are not rising. We are calling the EFF. The EFF has left the House. We're now calling upon the DA.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Suffice to say that it was a very progressive report tabled by the Deputy Speaker. Diabulela Somlo.
Now we'll give the ANC to speak on the report.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. We really support the report, and we want to agree with the leader of the Democratic Party that this is a progressive report. Thank you.
And to put on record the correct name of a party that is a party to the House. For the record, Honourable Zuma.
ANC support the report.
We now move on to Inkatha Freedom Party.
Honorable Speaker, the IFP support the document that was presented by the Speaker. Thank you very much.
Members, ngibona kukhona abangathi bafuna ukuphuma. Those of you who are attempt party whips, you have to ensure that you have your total delegation in the House, especially at this time. No one must be moving in and out while we are deliberating with these matters. I appeal to whips and leaders of parties. Now we'll go to Inkatha Freedom Party.
Honorable Speaker, the IFP support the document, which is well crafted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll now go to Umkhonto Wesizwe, and Umkhonto Wesizwe have left the House. I request the service officers, Madam Secretary, to stand by doors, by all the exits and entrances, so that members do not exit anymore. Now, we have now come to the end of the debate on item 4.5 as recommended in the Speaker's report. I will now be putting questions to the House that we need to vote on. One, that the rules be amended as follows: to amend the definition of chief whip as follows. Chief whip means the chief whip of a political party that is represented in the provincial government. B, to insert a definition of deputy chief whip as follows. Deputy chief whip means the deputy chief whip political party that is represented in the provincial government. To insert the definition of the chief whip of the largest minority party as follows. Chief whip of largest minority party means the chief whip of the largest minority party that is not in the provincial government. D, to amend Schedule 5 to delete references to the ACDP, ATM, and MF and to cater for the MK. Number 2, that unless the rules specify otherwise, committees are to be composed as follows: MK4, IFP2, ANC2, DA2, minorities, which is EFF and NFP1. That recommendations 1A to D, recommendation 2, and the report as a whole is supported. Those in support of the resolution to approve the above, please remain seated. All those opposed, please stand. And all those who abstain, please raise your hand. Basukume abanye baphakamise abanye bahlale. Madam Secretary, I'm hoping you're doing the counting there and you're...
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. And the Speaker is presiding and does not have a vote at this point. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Votes in favor 40, votes against nil, abstentions nil. It is recorded that the Speaker's report and its recommendations are supported, and it is now the resolution of the House, especially where it comes to areas of amendment of the rules. Now, honorable members, we have dealt with that. Oh, now we're 20 out of order. Honorable Zuma, no. I think you want to speak. What are you raising on?
No, yes, Honourable Speaker, I'm not speaking on the matter that we have already ruled on. I'm raising a new matter.
Okay.
I'm raising on Rule 51(2). I want to bring a matter that was not an item in terms of the order paper, but Rule 51(2) empowers us as the House that we can add a particular matter. We are requesting your indulgence, Honourable Speaker, that as a House, we want.
I am listening to you. You want to raise a matter. Which matter you want to raise?
We are requesting that this House deal with the matter of the election of the chairperson of committees, of portfolio committees, that we deal with that once and for all, so that we are late in terms of the establishment of the committees. Now that we have agreed on the establishment of committees, we are saying we rather just deal with that of electing all chairpersons of committees, so that when we convene committees, we just run with the business of the legislature.
So you're asking to act in terms of
Thank you.
52(1)(a).
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, Honorable Zuma requires us to act in terms of Rule 51(2)(a), which says that what he is raising may be decided or discussed if the House decides otherwise so, and the presiding officer decides otherwise after consultation with the whips. I will first check if the House decides to support what Honorable Zuma is raising upon. I see Honorable Rogers, you are up. I will first allow you to go.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the proposal tabled by Honourable Azuma. Thank you.
Honourable members, now there is a proposal that was supported that we add the election of chairpersons of portfolio committees. In terms of Rule 51(2)(a), it says the House decides otherwise. It means that the House now wants to take a decision. We have to put it to the majority of the members that are present in the House. Now, the Secretary is preparing proper wording of the resolution, but I will put it as follows. The question that I'm putting the House, that the House decides to amend the order paper by inclusion of item that speaks to the election of portfolio and standing committee chairpersons in terms of Rule 51(2)(a). Those who agree to that remain seated. Those opposed, stand up, my wife. Those abstaining, raise your hands. I will repeat. Those in support of the inclusion of the election of the chairpersons of committees in terms of Rule 51(2)(a) must remain seated. Those opposed must stand up, and those abstaining, raise your hands. Secretary, may you do the counting for me?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. And the Speaker is the additional member creating 41, but doesn't have a vote at this point in time. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable members, the results are as follows. Those for 40, those against nil, abstentions nil. I therefore agree, as the House has agreed, the resolution of the House is to include the item on the order paper, and we will bring it after the last item of the order paper that was circulated. This item will now become the last item. And honorable members, your attention is also further drawn to Rule 146 on the election of a chairperson of a committee. Rule 146(1)(a) allows that whenever the position of chairperson of a committee is vacant, a new chairperson must be elected either by resolution of the House or a decision of the committee in terms of Rule 151. 2 chairpersons may be replaced by a resolution of the House or decision of a committee, provided that if a chairperson was appointed by a resolution of the House, then that chairperson may only be replaced by a resolution of the House. If a chairperson of a committee appointed by a resolution of the House, that chairperson is deemed to have become a member of that committee appointment. If a member of a minority party is appointed as a chairperson of a committee, necessitating the reappointment of the members of minority parties, then minority parties must do so in terms of Rule 142. So, honorable members, in terms of these rules, in terms of 146, 1 to 4, chairpersons of committees will be elected here today, but whenever we're replacing a chairperson of a committee, it will be elected. It will be replaced through a resolution of the House. We will now continue with our order paper. As secretary, you give me the resolution that we will read when we are actually starting that agenda item. We will now move on to the next item, honorable members. We have agreed, but a new item has been added. We are now on the determination of remuneration of the Premier. Honorable members, we have now come to item 4.6 on the order paper, determination of the remuneration package of the Premier. In this regard, I must advise that the President has in this regard, I must advise that the President has, by Proclamation 169 of 2024, determined the total remuneration packages of public office bearers in terms of the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act of 1998 and Act number 20. The Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act of 1998 requires the legislature to thereafter determine by resolution the upper limits of the Premier's salary and allowances, the amount of the pension contribution to the pension fund of which the Premier is a member, as well as the amount of the medical aid contribution. The House will therefore have to take a resolution determining the upper limits of the Premier's salary and allowances. The Proclamation 169 of 2024 by the President has been distributed to all members. The question that the House needs to decide on is whether it supports the increase in the remuneration level of the Premier in terms of the proclamation as follows: grade LA, pay level 1, position Premier 1 April 2023, 2.470010, 1st of April 2024 to 253176. No debate is allowed for this item, honorable members. Those in support of the resolution to approve the above increase in remuneration level, please stand up. All those opposed, please sit down. And all those who abstain, raise your hands. All those in agreement, stand. Deputy Speaker, you are a member in the House, no? Okay. There is a hand that is raised next to, I am noting, okay, there is a hand raised, but before I attend to the hand, I note that there is Honorable PATN Buthelezi, who will not stand. Even if she agrees, I will request her to raise her hand in recognition if she is agreeing, and say agree. All of you honorable members be counted, and we see Honorable Buthelezi where we count, the secretary will know. Is on agreement? Oh, it is on agreement, Honorable Madam Secretary. Okay. Twaning ahlala phansi ke njengoba Secretary. Secretary, can I ask for the tally of the votes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. Total present in the House, 41. Madam Speaker does not have a vote at this point. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. So those in favor, 40. Those against, nil. Those who abstained, nil. And I want to still reiterate, at this time, the House was still having 41 members, and the Speaker has no need to make a casting vote. I therefore formally declare the end of this item, and it is recommended that the increase in the Premier's remuneration is supported. And that brings us to the end of item 5.6. Now we will move to the next item, which is appointment of trustee and alternate trustee of political office bearers pension fund. Honorable members, we have now come to item 4.7 on the order paper, appointment of trustee and alternate trustee of political office bearers pension fund. The letter from the pension fund has been distributed to all members. All members of the legislature are members of the political office bearers pension fund. The rules of the fund provide that within 6 months of every general election or otherwise when necessary, the members shall elect 14 trustees commonly referred to as members and 14 alternate trustees from among their number. The rules further provides that the members of the provincial legislature shall elect a trustee and an alternate trustee to represent them on the board of the fund. The election process specified rules of the pension fund requires that the matter be passed in the House. That proposes the appointment of the trustee and her or his alternate, and that the record of the election shall be kept in the minutes of the House, which will then constitute confirmation of the election result. It is therefore required that this House elect or re-elect member trustee and alternate trustee. The House will therefore take a resolution if we have members that are proposing names. Oh, the secretary is bringing to my attention that I did not say how does it roll out. We will first call upon a member to propose a name of the trustee. Thereafter, call for the secondment as we were doing, and thereafter we'll call for the proposed name of an alternate, and then second that. If there is a need for voting on the trustee, we will vote. If there is no need, we'll declare the one that is nominated. Honorable members, is there a proposal?
Honorable Speaker, can I propose that the main member as well as the alternate member?
Can you first start with the member and then we follow with the trustee and then we follow with the alternate?
So, Honorable Speaker, I propose that the main member will be the Deputy Speaker.
Honorable members, the name of the Honorable M. Tembe, the Deputy Speaker, is proposed as the trustee. Do we have a seconder? Honorable Shinga. Honorable Shinga.
I'm Honorable Shinga, and I second the name of the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mabato Tembe.
The name of Honorable Mabato Tembe, the Deputy Speaker, is proposed as the alternate. You agree, ma'am? Do you agree? As a member, trustee.
Thank you, Speaker. I agree.
Honorable members, Honorable Tembe agrees. Is there any other nomination? Going once, twice, thrice. Honorable Deputy Speaker is the trustee. on behalf of the provincial legislature to the pension fund. Now we'll go to the alternate. Honorable Kwala.
Honorable Speaker, then I nominate the name of Honorable Ban Prakash to be the alternate member. Thank you.
Honorable members, the name of Honorable Ban Prakash has been proposed. May we get a seconder? Honorable Fraser.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to...
No, Honorable Ndebele, you cannot move out. Honorable Zuma, do keep them there. Honorable Fraser.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the name of Honorable Bam Prakash. Thank you.
Thank you. The name of Honorable Ban Prakash is proposed as an alternate. Honorable Ban Prakash, do you accept the nomination?
I do, Madam Speaker.
The member has accepted. Is there a further nomination? Going once, twice, thrice. Honorable members, the members that will represent all of us, the 80 members of us in the board, the member that is the main trustee is Honorable M. Tembe, who is the Deputy Speaker of the KZN Legislature. And the alternate, in the case that Honorable Tembe is unavailable, Honorable Ban Prakash will attend, but you know that there are other meetings where they both attend, including when there is empowerment and roadshows. When the pension fund so dictates, you will get an apology of them both. But ordinarily, the trustee is Honorable Tembe. The lawyer in front of me is giving me a legal opinion that we have to tighten it up and call for you, honorable members, to respond and vote to it now as a question, so that we record it as a resolution of the House. Thank you, Secretary. Honorable members, the question is put to the House that the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature mandates Honorable M. Tembe as a trustee and Honorable Ban Prakash as an alternate trustee member to on behalf of the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature to the political pension fund, political office bearers pension fund. Now, those who agree with that must sit down. Those who disagree stand, and those who abstain raise their hands. The question to the House, do the House agree that the two members? Okay. Secretary, you are doing the tallying of votes on my behalf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. Total present in the House, 41, and the Speaker does not have a vote at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Votes in favor, we have 40. Votes against, we have nil. Abstentions, nil. Honorable members, I therefore formally declare those as the results. And it is now recorded that the appointment of Honorable M. Tembe, the Deputy Speaker, as a trustee, and the Honorable Ban Prakash as alternate trustee is supported. And that is the resolution of the House. Once more, I reiterate, the House is still having 41 members present. Now, honorable members, we will go to the last item that we added, which is appointment and election of Election of chairpersons of portfolio committees. As decided by the House earlier in the morning, the order paper has been amended in terms of Rule 512A by the addition of the following item. As 4.8, election of chairpersons of portfolio committees, and we will now proceed with them. The process that we will go through will be as follows. The matter of the election of the chairperson of the committees will be dealt with without debate. The voting procedure will be dealt with in terms of Section 1121C of the Constitution, as well as Rule 85(1)C of the Standing Rules. That is, all voting decisions will be decided by a majority of votes cast. The Speaker will firstly call for the nominations for this position. A member will rise and indicate who she nominates for this position. Once a member is nominated, I will ask for a seconder. After the first member is nominated and seconded, I will verify if the nominated member accepts the nomination. I will then check if there are any other nominations as per the same process. If there is only one nomination, that will be the end of the election, and I will declare the elected candidate the chairperson. If more than one candidate is nominated, we'll have to go through a voting process. In going through the voting process, I will ask that all those in favor of candidate A remain in their seats. Candidate B, please rise. Candidate C, please raise your hands. Counting will then occur and the result will be declared. The candidate with the most support will then be declared the chairperson of the committee. The same process will be followed for the election of all portfolio committees. Honorable members, I trust that the process is clear. We'll now proceed to deal with all committees. I will start with the Premier Community Safety and Liaison Portfolio Committee. You still service officers ensuring that the doors are not allowing any in and out, Secretary. Yes. I am waiting for parties to nominate the Premier Community Safety and Liaison Portfolio Chairperson Committee. Honorable Madlopa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to propose the name of Honorable Fraser.
Thank you, Honorable Madlopa. We are now having a name or a seconder. We were going to call the person. Honorable Zuma.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We wanted to check one thing.
Okay.
We wanted to check the process of the election of the chief whip, whether chief whip and the deputy chief whip, whether this process will include that or it will be a separate matter altogether.
Let's go back to the ruling that I had framed before you come to that. We have agreed to amend the definition of chief whip as follows. Chief whip means the chief whip of a political party that is represented in the provincial government. To insert a definition of deputy chief whip as follows. Deputy chief whip means the deputy chief whip of a political party that is represented in the provincial government. Now, that process, as you would remember, that including the chief whip of the largest minority will be submitted by the largest minority, which is not part of government. The chief whip will also be submitted by the parties that are in government. As you would remember that even in the past, we never really elected in the House. We would get the name, but the only difference is that it will come and will verify with the parties that are in government. So we are really looking forward to get that name because before now the name that has been proposed is the name of the Honorable Fraser for Premier Community Safety and Liaison. May we get a seconder? Honorable Simelane.
Oh, there it is. Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I wish to second the name of Honorable Fraser.
Thank you. The name of Honorable Fraser has been nominated. Do you accept Honorable Mbalenhle Cleopatra Fraser?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accept. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further nomination for the Portfolio Committee on Premier Community Safety? Honorable members, we had said that they will be counting. But we said on number 8, if there is only one nomination, that will be the end of the election. I will declare the elected candidate the chairperson. The chairperson of the KwaZulu-Natal Portfolio Committee on Premier Community Safety and Liaison is the Honorable MC Fraser. May we now move to the next committee, which is Agriculture and Rural Development. Anisheshe Namaka. Honorable Masiko, you want to nominate?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I wish to nominate the name of Honorable Zuma Superose as the Portfolio Committee Chairperson for Agriculture. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Can I get the correct name of the member? I don't remember me having Superose.
Honorable Super Zuma, Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Who is Super Zuma?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The name is Honorable Madecius Bambogwakhe Zuma.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Honorable Bangokwakhe Madecius Zuma, Honorable MP Zuma, as nominated as Chairperson of Agriculture and Rural Development. Is there a seconder? Ma'am Keys, Honorable Magnificent.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to second the name of Honorable Bangowake. I get to call him by his name today. Bangowake Zuma, thank you.
The name of Honorable BM Zuma has been nominated for Agriculture and Rural Development. Do you accept the nomination, Honorable Zuma?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I ngiyavuma.
Thank you. Now we will go to the next. May we get another candidate? May we get another candidate? Is there any other candidate going once, twice? Honorable Member, seeing that there is only one name nominated, the Chairperson of Agriculture and Rural Development is Honorable BM Zuma. Now we're going to Economic Development and Tourism. Honorable, I think it's Honorable Sithole Muloi. Yes, Honorable Sithole Muloi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'd like to propose the name of Honorable Mafika Mdebele as the Chair of the Economic Development Portfolio Committee.
The Honorable Mafika Damane Mdebele is nominated. Do we have a seconder? Chair of Chairs.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. I would like to second the name of Honorable Damane Mdebele.
Honorable MD Mdebele, you have been nominated as Chairperson of Economic Development and Tourism. Do you accept the nomination? So that you are head, Umakuyo Nkantolo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accept the nomination.
There is one nomination. Can we get a second nomination? Any second nomination? We are nominating Honorable Rogers. Oh, going once, twice. Honorable members, there is only one nomination, and the elected chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, where the MEC is a reverend and the chairperson is a son of a reverend, is the Honorable Mafika Damane Mdebele. Now we will move to Environmental Affairs. Honorable Mavimbela.
Mina Hlengiwe, Goodness Lindile Mavimbela, ngiphakamisa igama likabongi Masithole Mloyi ukuba abe usihlalo waleli komiti elishiwo somlomo ohloniphekile.
The name for the Honorable Stolemoloi BN is proposed for Environmental Affairs. May we get a seconder? Yes, Honorable Fraser.
Ngiyabonga somlomo, ngiyafisa ukuthi ngisekele igama lika Bongi Sithole Mloyi. Ngiyabonga.
Honorable Sithole Mloyi, you are nominated to be Chairperson of Environmental Affairs. Do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Honorable Premier. I accept the nomination.
Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My apologies. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accept the nomination.
There is one nomination of Honorable Sithole Mloyi. May we get a second nomination? Going once, twice. Honorable members, there is only one nomination, and the chairperson of the Environmental Affairs Portfolio Committees is the Honorable Sithole Mloyi BN. Now we get to education. Honorable Kilani.
Honorable Speaker, I propose the name of, in education, the name of Princess Phumzile Buthelezi.
The Honorable Princess PATN Buthelezi is nominated for Chairperson of Education. Do we get a seconder? There is a hand, beautiful hand there, red.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ngubane, it's Honorable Ngubane, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the name of Princess Buthelezi.
Honorable PATN Buthelezi, you are nominated for the position of Chairperson of Education Portfolio Committee. Do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and other members. I do accept the nomination. Thank you.
We have the first nomination, which is Honorable PATN Buthelezi. Is there any other nomination? Going once, twice, God. Honorable members, the Chairperson of Education Portfolio Committee is the Honorable PATN Buthelezi. Now we're going to Finance. Honorable Rogers, Honorable Fraser.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to nominate the name of Honorable Mthandeni Dlungwane. Thank you.
The name of Honorable Mthandeni Eric Dlungwane is nominated. May we get a seconder, Honorable CQ Madlopa?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the name of Honorable M. Dlungwane.
Honorable M. Dlungwane, you are nominated to be the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Finance. Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
I accept, Chair. Thank you.
Oh, okay, Tintola. There is one candidate, which is Honorable M. Dlungwane. Okay, Tom Tandayo. May we get a second nomination for candidates? Going once, twice. The Chairperson for the Finance Portfolio Committee is the Honorable Dlungwane MA. Now we're going to health. Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to nominate the Honourable Imran Kika for Chairperson of Health.
It is the Deputy Chief Whip of the TA.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay. The name of Honorable Dr. Imran Kika is nominated. Do we have a seconder to the name? Mngadi.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to second the nomination of Dr. Imran Kika.
The nomination of Dr. Imran Kika is seconded by Honorable Mngadi. Honorable Kika, do you accept the nomination?
Madam Speaker, I accept the nomination.
Okay, may we get, that is the first nomination is Dr. Imran Kika Umchopi, who has been nominated for Chairperson of Health. Do we have a second nomination? Going once, twice. Dr. Imran Kika is elected the Chairperson of Health. Now we're on human settlements. Honorable Mtimande.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, I move that Dr. Andy Leviela be the Chairperson of Human Settlements Portfolio Committee.
The name of Dr. Sandy Lebiela is Andy Lebiela is proposed. Dr. Andy Lebiela is proposed. Do we have a seconder? Honorable Nkwanyana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the name of Andy Lebiela as the Chairperson of Human Settlement. Thank you.
Is Dr. Andy Lebiela accepting the nomination? Dr. Andy Lebiela, you're accepting the nomination.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I wish to accept the nomination.
Thank you. The first candidate is Dr. A. Biela. Do we have any other nomination? Going once, twice. Honourable members, we are gone. The Chairperson of the Human Settlements Portfolio is Dr. Andile Biela. Akachopi, akachovi, uyacabanga, isifundiswa with a PhD. Now, we are moving to sports, arts and culture. Honorable Masiko.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to nominate the name of Honorable Member Sizopila Impilo Iyaqhubeka Magnificent Mkhize as the Chairperson for the Portfolio Committee for Arts, Culture, Sport and Recreation. Thank you very
Miss, the Honorable SMM Mkhize is nominated as Chairperson of the Sport, Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee. Do we have a seconder to the name? Dr. Biela?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to second with great emphasis Sizopila and Belo Iyaqhubeka Magnificent Kiss.
Honorable Sizopila Impilo Iyaqhubeka Magnificent Mkhize.
Madam
Mfasa,
Speaker,
do you accept?
I, Sizophila Mpilo Iyaqhubeka Magnificent Mkhize, accept the nomination.
Honorable members, we have the name of Miss Honorable SMM Mkhize. Do we have a second nomination? A second nomination going once, twice. We are gone. Honorable members, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Sport, Arts and Culture is Miss SMM Mkhize. Now we're going to COGTA. We're nominating the chairperson of COGTA. Ubashaya ngani mfundisi lo ungamphanga omnye umfundisi? Rev Buthelezi ubashaya ngani le bangashayekanga ngayo komnye umfundisi?
Madam Speaker,
Dr. Imran Kika Mchopi.
Madam Speaker, I nominate Marlene Nair.
The name of Honorable Marie Naya, I always call it, I'll call her the name in a post-Chepstein manner. You will pardon me, Honorable Member. I think you are now aware. May I get a seconder to the name of Honorable Naya? Honorable Mngati.
Thank you, Speaker. I wish to second the nomination of Honorable Naya.
Honorable Naya, you have been nominated as chairperson of COGTA. Do you accept the nomination?
Madam Speaker, I accept the nomination.
Where is the honorable member speaking from? Honorable Naya, I've seen you. You are accepted. May we get a second nomination? Is there any other nomination? Another nomination? Another nomination? Babekuya ngokwami wamthetho ukuthi akumiwa phakathi kwamabhentshi ngebazange uphume ngoba uyasihluphisa ngabanye abahlonishwa. Seeing that there is no further nomination, the Honorable Naya is the elected chairperson. We're now going to transport. Honorable Gunene.
Honorable Speaker, we propose the name of Honorable Mapisa to be the chairperson of Transport Portfolio Committee. Honorable Ladies Mapisa.
Honorable Mapisa Mngcedisi is nominated. May I get a seconder? Honorable Ngubane.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo ohloniphekile, ngiyalisekela igama likaMncedisi Mapisa.
Honorable Mngcedisi Mapisa, you are nominated as chairperson of Transport. Do you accept the nomination?
Honorable Speaker, I accept the nomination.
We now have one name of Honorable Mapisa. Do we now go to a second name? Going once, second name. Okay, honorable members, seeing that there is one nomination, the Honorable Mapisa is there, chairperson of Transport. Now we're going to social development. Honorable Gwala.
Honorable Speaker, I propose the name of Noluthando Ngubane to be the chair.
The name of Honorable Noluthando Ngubane is proposed as chairperson of social development. May we get a seconder? Okay, Mashasha. Aibu. Kumchana kumashasha. Kabisa.
Ngiyathokoza Somlomo ohloniphekile ngisekela ukuphakanyiswa kwegama likaMhlonishwa uNoluthando Ngubane as usihlalo we-social development. Thank you.
The name of Honorable Ngubane has been nominated and seconded. Honorable Noluthando Ngubane, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accept.
Honorable members, we have one nomination of Honorable N. Ngubane. Is there any other nomination? Any further nomination? Honorable members, the chairperson is Honorable N. Ngubane. Now we're going to Public Works. Honorable, bengithi ngizokukhomba Honorable Maphisa seyo second manivumelana nino Honorable Gwala. Usebele asukuma.
I propose the name of Honorable National Petros Bantamsima as the chair.
The name of Honorable Petros Ntantamsimango is nominated. May we have a seconder? Honorable Maphisa.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the nomination of Petros Ntantamsimango.
There is a second and a nomination for you, Petro Ntantamsimango. Do you accept the nomination?
Honorable Speaker, I accept.
Is there a second name? Is there any other name nominated going once, twice? The name is PN Nsimango. Ngizonivakashela ndiyozwa mangaba sekhona usihlalo laphayana. Ekhomba abantu laphaya kwa Public Works. Honorable members, now that we've had the nomination and there were no contestation, I will now put, as we frame the resolution, I will now put the question to the House. As follows: those in support of the following chairpersons to lead the committees as set below, please remain seated. All those opposed, please stand. All those abstaining, please raise your hands. The Premier Community Safety and Liaison Portfolio Committee, Honorable M. Fraser. Agriculture and Rural Development Portfolio Committee, Honorable B.M. Zuma. Economic Development and Tourism Portfolio Committee, Honorable M.D. Ndebele. Environmental Affairs Portfolio Committee, Honorable B.N. Stole Muloi. Education Portfolio Committee, Honorable P.A.T.N. Butelezi. Finance Portfolio Committee, Honorable M.E. Dlungwane. Health Portfolio Committee, Honorable Dr. Aikika. Human Settlements Portfolio Committee, Honorable Dr. A. Biela. Sports, Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee, Honorable S.M.M. Mkize. COGTA, Honorable M. Nai. Transport, Honorable M.C. Mapisa. Social Development, Honorable N. Ngubane. Public Works, Honorable P.N. Nsimango. Secretary, may we tally the voting? Those who support will remain seated. Those opposed, Honorable MEC Health opposayo will be standing, and those abstaining will raise their hands. Do the counting, Honorable Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. Total present in the House, 41. The Speaker does not have a vote at this point in time. Thank you.
Honorable members, it is recorded that honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favor, 40. Against, nil. Abstentions, nil. It is recorded that the resolution of the House is that the chairpersons of each portfolio committee is as follows: Premier Community Safety and Liaison, Honorable M.C. Fraser, Agriculture and Rural Development, Honorable B.M. Zuma, Economic Development and Tourism, Honorable M.T. Ndebele, Environmental Affairs, PC is Honorable B.N. Sitole Muloi, Education PC is Honorable PATN Buthelezi. Finance Portfolio PC is Honorable M.E. Dlungwane. Health PC is Honorable Dr. Aikika. Human Settlements PC is Honorable Dr. A. Biela. Sports, Arts and Culture PC is Honorable S.M.M. Mkize. Cocta PC is Honorable M. Nye. Transport PC is Honorable MC Mapisa. Social Development is Honorable N. Ngubane. Public Works is Honorable P.N. Msimango. This then concludes matters on the voting on the portfolio committee. But I want to remind the House that the House that the first installment was portfolio committees. There were then standing committees that were going to be part, when I said voting on chairpersons of committees. So that you don't question yourself, why is it Hlukanisa? We start with the portfolio committees, now we're going to standing committees. Now we will go to the standing committees. We will start in no particular order, honorable members. We will first have to refer to the rules that the standing committees that we have is the Standing Committee on Oversight, the Standing Committee is 7, the Rules Committee, which the chairperson of the Rules Committee is elected by Rule 1711, which is saying the chairperson of that standing committee is the Speaker. The third standing committee is the Program Committee, which the chairperson is elected by the rules in terms of Rule 1751. The Speaker is the chairperson of the Program Committee. Then there is Ethics, Privileges and Contempt, and the chairperson of that standing committee is elected in terms of Rule 179, which is the Deputy Speaker is the chairperson of the Ethics, Privileges and Contempt. Then the next one is the Committee of Chairpersons, which the Standing Committee on chairperson is elected in terms of Rule 188.1, and the chairperson is the chairperson of committees. Then we go to the Whips Forum. The chairperson of the Whips Forum is elected in terms of Standing Rule 1921, which is the Chief Whip, the one that is going to be submitted as the whip coming from the governing party is the chairperson of the Standing Committee on the Whips Forum, the multi-party Whips Forum. Then, honorable members, there is quality of life. Then the next committee is Standing Committee on Oversight. We said we will elect the chairperson. We're going to petitions and public participations. The chairperson is elected in the House, and the quality of life, the chairperson is going to be elected, and SCOPA, the chairperson is going to be elected PPP. Then there is the stakeoff PPP, quality of life. The stakeoff PPP, quality of life, and no, before we get the SCOPA. And the members are also alerting me that the quality of the Women's Caucus, and also now they are reminding us that in the not updated copy, you adopted the Standing Committee on Scrutiny of Subordinate Legislation towards the end of last term. Now, honorable members, because of how the sitting has been shaped today, and seeing that in the framing of the ruling when I was speaking, I did not alert the House that there is the scrutiny of subordinate legislation. May I, in terms of Rule 3, an eventuality that I foresee that when we were challenged earlier on, it might seem as if we are sneaking something that we did not mention, particularly in the report. May I request that we hold them in abeyance, the Women's Caucus and scrutiny of subordinate legislation. Those two, I rule that we hold them in abeyance and have Starkov, PPP, quality of life, and SCOPA. Now let's go with the Chairperson on Standing Committee on Oversight. Honorable Rogers.
Speaker, I rise on a point of discomfort, and I refer you to Rule 52(1), which talks about the presiding officer may interrupt, suspend, or adjourn the proceedings of the House.
It's just the last voting, Honorable Member.
Is just the last one?
Yeah, this is, we are now voting on these four. It's the last item. Now, Starkov, back to Starkov. Starkov, Honorable Member, Standing Committee on Oversight. You shouldn't be many rating a standing committee now in abeyance. Starkov. He's simtinga ngempela lo Honorable Kamadlopha Mthethwa, MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm just requesting that the issue of Starkov be put in abeyance and then we continue with the other portfolios.
The problem is that you have to come with a rule. You can't just you requesting, because you know when you say you're requesting and I allow you, you may end up wanting me things I don't have, like opinions. So which rule that you are putting on that?
Rule 512.
Okay, so you are requesting that the matter of Standing Committee on Oversight. Okay. Honorable members, there is a request that we put that in abeyance. Honorable Smelane, MEC?
Oh, thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I wish to second the move by Honorable Madlopha Mthethwa.
Honorable members, does the House agree that we put Starkov on abeyance? It is a resolution that in the framed ruling by the Speaker, we add the Standing Committee on Oversight, Mr. Lawyer there. And I think I must record it to the House that it is quite a bit of a, Honorable Duma and Honorable Khoza, it is quite a bit of a disturbing phenomenon that we may be postponing the Standing Committee that oversees us working in the House as a legislature, and also one that is a bit critical. So we would have to ensure that we find time soonest, but we must say that from our side of the Presidium, it is quite a concern, and I'm sure that whoever will be appointed as Chief Whip and the opposition Chief Whip, they will also find it is a bit of a disturbance. Now we're going to PPP, petitions and public participation. Honorable Kwala.
I propose the name of Honorable Namsile Kwanya.
The name of Honorable Ngamisile Ngwanyana is proposed. Can we get a seconder? A seconder to the name, Honorable Petros.
I second the name of Honorable Kwanyana.
Honorable Ngwanyana, your name has been nominated. Do you accept the nomination?
Honorable Speaker, I do accept the nomination.
Honorable members, may we get another name? Honorable Ngwanyana is the first candidate. Is there any other name? Going once, another name. Going twice, another name. Honorable members, the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Petitions and Public Participation is Honorable Ngwanyana Siyanaye LGBTQIA Symposium Sex Work. Now we're going to election of the chairperson on quality of life. Oh, your hand is up, Honorable Mavimbela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I nominate the name of Honorable Figile Masiko.
The name of Honorable Figile Andiswa Masiko is nominated. Do we have a seconder? Honorable Madlopa.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the name of Honorable Figile Masiko.
Honorable Figile Andiswa Masiko, you are nominated as chairperson of the Quality of Life. Do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Then now we're going to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to nominate the Honourable Timothy Brautase.
What's the name of the member nominating?
Timothy Brautase.
Your name for the record?
Myself. Hannah Shamima Winkler.
The Honourable Haneshni is nominating the Honourable Timothy. My ward councillor know that I can't pronounce their surname. May I get a seconder to that nomination, Honourable Dr. Imran?
Madam Speaker, I second the nomination of Timothy Brautase as Chair Scopa.
The name of Mr. Honourable Timothy Brautase is nominated. Honourable Tim, do you accept the nomination? You were not on record. Yeah.
Honourable Speaker, I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Brautase has accepted the nomination. Is there any other nomination for chairperson of SCOPA? Is there any further nomination? Going once, going twice. So the nomination of Honourable Tim Brautase as alone is only one candidate is now elected, deemed elected. May I read the resolution on the election of the standing committees? I will now put the question to the House, honourable members, on the election of the standing committee. Honourable members, it is recorded that honourable members, those in support of the following chairpersons to lead the standing committees as set below, and also in agreement that a women's caucus, Stakov, and scrutiny of subordinate legislation chairpersons be held in abeyance. Please remain seated. And all those opposed, please stand. All those abstaining, please raise your hands. The chairpersons that are elected is Petitions and Public Participation Standing Committee, Honorable Nkwanyana, Quality of Life, Standing Committee, Honorable F.A. Masiko, Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable T. Brautase, and Stakov, Women's Caucus, and Scrutiny of Subordinate Legislation, were put in abeyance. Now, may those who in support sit and those against stand, and those abstaining raise your hands. Going once. Siyavota njengamanje nobhala. You are counting your votes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those in support, 40. Those against, no. Abstentions, no. Total present in the House, 41, and the Speaker doesn't have a vote at this time. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favor, 40. It is recorded that the resolution of the House is that the chairperson of STACOV, Women's Caucus, and scrutiny of subordinate legislation. Oh, no. Be held in abeyance, as we know. Now the resolution is that it is the voting in the House is that the chairpersons of the following standing committees are as follows. Triple Peace, Honorable Nkwanyana, Quality of Life, Honorable F.A. Masiko, Scopa, Honorable T. Brotherhead, and honorable members. That then concludes the matters on the order paper. I want to take this opportunity, honorable members, to thank you. But before we actually leave, as the matters have been concluded, Premier, you don't have any announcement you want to make?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Honorable MECs and Honorable members, when the announcements one has is for Thursday and Friday, which is 11 and 7 and 12 July, wherein we will be hosting the Youth in Business Summit in Durban, wherein members are virtually invited. I think this one announcement one has for today. Thank you.
Honorable members, that is the announcement from the Premier. Thank you, Honorable Premier. Honorable members, we've come to the end. Thank you so much, Honorable members. We know that you have been patient with us, as we said at the beginning that there were still other matters, and we were keeping the Premier as the leader of government aware, not leader of government business, no, leader of government in KwaZulu-Natal. The Honorable Premier, we're keeping him aware also on the challenges that we're trying to sort in terms of coming to the second sitting. But we want to thank party leaders and also for the House to still have a majority in attendance. Now we have come to the end of the orders for today, and the House is therefore adjourned. Thank you.